Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Corey Winfield.
You know, there was a reason why that didn't work out. And you can look back at it and go, yep, I'm glad that didn't work out how I wanted it, because I would have been horrible.
And co-host, Marney Winfield.
Fairly expensive membership to Gold's Gym when I was in college, but I use that all the time.
It is June 9th, 2024. My last Sunday as a 45-year-old male in America. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marney Winfield.
And how's the Gold's Gym membership?
Oh, I'm not firing that up quite yet. I have other things on my plate right now.
Yeah. So what does your day consist of right now?
Really? Okay, we're going to launch this way.
Go right into it.
Go right into it. Let's see. So I'm going to premise this with something that we used to watch, which we're not watching anymore, but it's we would watch these weekly updates on where things are at with the pregnancy, right? Mm-hmm. And we kind of got turned on to this one lady who did this called Mums. What did she call it?
It was Channel Mum.
Channel Mum is what it was. And she would do this thing called, let's talk about where you're really at with pregnancy this week, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And she would cover these things like, this is what's good that should be, it's going on with this week. This is what might be bad that's going on. And this is kind of like the ugly that you have to face. And I'm going to take that route to discuss where we're at right now with things. So our little Prince Parker he's joining us today from in a siesta.
We're in the bedroom studio, master suite studio, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah. He's in between us.
Yep.
His head is facing me, or I'm above his head, kind of. And his little feeties are towards you.
Yeah.
And he's on a pillow.
Yeah. He loves this little space.
All about 7 pounds of him.
Yep. It's about right. Maybe a little more. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's growing. But so he's now 2 weeks and 3 days old or so.
4 days.
4 days old. Okay. 2 weeks, 4 days. And he is truly a blessing every single day. Every minute is amazing for the most part.
Yeah. I looked at you and you said every minute. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, when you really kind of take the big picture idea, it's every minute is amazing. And I think that has been the good part for sure, is just recognizing. I mean, I can't even tell you, when you talk about gratitude and you talk about realizing where things are in your life, this little guy is a constant reminder that, I mean, every time, even when he's having his bad minutes, it's like, it's just a blessing that he's here. And that, I mean, sometimes I'm just like, have to pinch myself, be like, is this really happening? Like, we really have this baby. And I'll even say this, I'll be like, we have this baby here. And it's just, and I like start tearing up because it was quite the journey to get to this spot. So, and he's here, and it's just being present, I think, is the most important thing for me right now. Because, I mean, getting into like the bad, it's not bad really. It's just, it's recognizing that even these moments seem to just fly, right? I mean, we're like looking at pull-up diapers, and you're like, oh, I can't wait until we get to have pull-up diapers. And I'm like, why would you want to wish this time away when he's just like itty-bitty? Like, he'll never be this itty-bitty again, ever again. You know? So, but we are doing the normal, like, figuring out the little stuff, things that you think is like very parenting 101 that would just be like easy peasy. Like, I was really nervous about putting the car seat in, you know? I'm like, watch, I'm going to be like all fumbling around. I don't want to do it by myself because I want to know that I know how to do it. Even though there's no room for error when you have a little human being in it. You know, you want to go in there confident, like, I know what I'm doing. Here we go.
I will say, because we took him out for the first trip, besides the doctor's appointment that we went to, his first doctor appointment. Of course, we forgot the diaper bag on the way there.
Yeah.
Like, we realized halfway there, like, oh, we don't have a diaper. We don't have a diaper bag.
No,
we have one. It's just at the house.
We have everything.
Why would we take that with us? You know, we got the baby, the important part of it.
The baby was there. Yeah.
But, you know, luckily we're going to the doctor's office and they have diapers there, and they kind of gave us a little bag that they give everybody anyway. So I think that we weren't the first people to do.
But we ended up needing it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a rude awakening. Like, wow, did not pass that one.
Whoops. But I think that's a common thing. When we took him out to Meijer yesterday, we went to the store. You needed to get out of the house.
Yes.
And I was thinking about that on the way back from the fishing event that sort of happened. It happened for like an hour and a half, and then we had to pack up because it was raining. But you were going to come and you were going to bring Parker, and that was going to be a chance for you to get out of the house. And so I was driving home, and I was thinking, like, oh my God, like, she probably feels like a prisoner. Like last week, I think you went and got your nails done or something, but you had to hurry back because you had to feed him. And it really wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to go enjoy my day. No, you still felt, you cried when you left, you know, like
I did.
It wasn't like a getaway where you're like, hey, we're going out. And so we ventured to Meijer and we did some shopping, and he was excellent. He slept the whole time and it was beautiful. But I noticed that I walk into the store different. I'm like looking for cars and like, I'm like, okay, what we got going on here? And even when we were getting ready to put him in, I'm just like, all right, we got to get him out of there and into the car, because I don't feel safe with him just sitting next to the car in a stroller.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
So it's definitely changing us, and definitely you, I'd say spend 99% of your time with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think I could do it. But it's cute, and it's love. Like, I'm seeing love firsthand, you know, and, you know, he just loves you. And of course he needs you. You keep him alive. But that bond that you guys are already creating is magical. And, you know, for me just to sit back and watch that, and I know you're like, here, you need to spend some time with him. I think part of that's just like, I need some time away from him just to go take a shower. But part of that's, you're like, you really do want him to bond with me. But at this stage, and here's why I see the pull-up commercials, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Because that's when he'll start turning into daddy's boy. Right. You know, when he doesn't need mommy all the time. And he will need mommy all the time for the rest of his life probably. But, you know, for him to work some daddy time in there, you know, to do some podcasting or fly a drone or, you know, whatever he wants to do that relates to what I want him to do, you know, as a father. I want to make sure he grows up the way I want him to. Right. But we'll talk more about that on Recovery Dads, which is kicking off this week. RecoveryDads.com. If you want to check that out. We have very little up there right now, but a picture. But you can still check that out. And I think Mitch and Justin have yet to update their bio, so you can email them. Mitchell at 217recovery.com and Justin at 217recovery.com. Be like, how come you guys don't upgrade or update your stuff yet? Like, what's going on? But just the being the father part is crazy. And we talked last night too. And when you asked me, can you believe that he's here? And can you believe that? And then I asked you a question, and you kind of said something that, and it's true for me too. In order for him to be here, it took a huge wake-up call, a huge, you could even say, worst moment in your life event to happen for us to snap out of it and wake up and realize that we need to change. Yeah. And the life that we were living, it was not even life. We were just on a fast track to death. Horrible. And we were going to take everybody with us if we wanted to. We didn't really care, you know. And, you know, to see where we're at now and for him to be here, you know, those bad things had to happen to us. But it's such a blessing, you know, to be in recovery and to live life, to take our life back. And I still can't believe I'm married to a beautiful woman, and that, you know, you still let me touch your booty every once in a while. Sorry, I was eating onions earlier, and my breath is just horrible, and it's getting into Marnie's eyes a little bit.
Can I blame it on hormones still? Am I allowed to do
or
that?
Onions? I just do onions.
No, I keep it real. No, it's emotional, but it's beautiful. It is. It's great. I mean, and the thing is, like, people, like, you get bombarded with people that you know well and people that you don't know very well, who all with best intentions are like, how are you doing? You know what I mean? And how to answer that in like a text, especially in a text, is kind of like impossible, really, because there's so many pieces of this that are like happening all at once. I mean, the big answer is great. We're doing great. Like, he's healthy. He's perfect. Like, I made it through the delivery. It was not exactly how we had planned it, but, it was, and that you were a great support and there 100%. So that was wonderful. But I mean, like, it's a whole paradigm shift of like my life, our lives, and like, for you to say, oh, well, you want to keep normalcy and will things, I don't want things to like change. Well, no, they are going to change. Mm-hmm. That's what this whole thing is about, is it's going to be different. Our lives are going to be different. Our relationship is going to be different. And that doesn't mean it's in a bad way. It's just in a different way. We're adding on a whole new aspect of, who we are now, is we're parents, and we're like parenting together, and I think that to me, I can see all these different things surface and looking at life in a way that I never could really ever realize. I mean, I could sympathize with, but not really, empathize with. And, there's a difference there, but it's that, this takes a toll on a lot of people in a different way. And if you don't address it and like come at it in a positive way, like recognizing this is going to be different for me, this is going to be different for you, and there's going to be an adjustment period, and we're going to have to shift kind of our perspective on things and how life is going to be. And that part of it is temporary and part of it is just going to be different for the rest of our lives. I went from being like, I can't say I was a workaholic or anything.
You can't say it, but can I say it? Marnie was a workaholic.
I don't think I really was.
Okay. I said it, but you didn't have to.
I did work up the day until he was born, but that's just because what else was I going to do? Because he was still safely in my tummy, so it was fine. But no, it took literally being home like all day, every day, which is just like having to realize that this is my role right now. And it's an important role. It's the most important role I've ever had in my entire life, is to be okay being at home with him and giving this baby what it needs. And he won't remember this. He won't remember this time together. But I do honestly believe that the bonding and like the contact and the interaction that happens at this age, even though he's a newborn, is monumental. It's important, and so, he is safe and he has all his basic needs, and it's amazing to be a part of it and to be the mom. And I have you here to be the dad and my husband, and,
Yeah, we're lucky in that aspect. There are a lot of single parents out there, and that would be hard, man. Having twins would be hard. I mean, I don't even know how you do it. Can you imagine? I know my sister, she had twins, and
props to every.
Every mom. Two of these little monsters.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Parker, but not really, kind of, because you're a little monster sometimes.
You can be.
Like, I would want my diaper changed a lot if I was him.
Yeah.
But he sometimes is cool with it, and other times he doesn't want it. He'd rather just lay in his poop.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Well, sometimes you need to really kind of ask yourself, I wish he could talk, because then I would know, dude, do you want to wait it out? Because he is being, I think, taken away from like being in a comfortable spot sometimes. So he's just like, I'd rather not. I'll just wait.
Let me just lay right here for a minute. I'm cool with it.
I'm really comfortable right now, so I'll pass on the diaper change.
When did they get teeth? It was 6 months or something?
6 months
yeah, I think I asked Alexa that. Because then he'll be able to start to talk.
No, that's not how it works. It's not when he has teeth that he starts talking.
Oh, I thought we can get him talking now then. I was trying to make some noises, like he was like doing lips, like I was doing like some lips, and then he was like trying to do it too.
Yeah.
And I was whistling, and he was trying to like pucker his lips up and do it.
Yeah, that's the important stuff. That's how babies are making these neural connections and figuring out the world, and figuring out what's what and how things work. And most of it is sleeping, which I would love to know what he dreams about. Which we could ask Mitchell that question. You guys could go into your whole idea about what babies dream about.
Good.
Past lives.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about earlier. I think babies are in a lot of pain all the time because their little digestive system is trying to like kick in. There's a lot of gas. Everybody knows gas sucks. It hurts, and to be like so little like that, and to have those kind of pains, it's got to be excruciating. And then just his little body's growing. I think it hurts, and I think that's why we don't remember a lot of that.
I think Jesus gives them automatic, relief from that. I think that he probably doesn't.
Because I don't think they would make a little gas medicine for babies then.
No,
if Jesus
I know
did
that
maybe that's how Jesus did it.
I know he still has discomfort, but it's one of those things where I don't know. I think he seems pretty comfortable most of the time.
I just don't think it's a good experience being a baby. And I think that's why we block it out of our long-term memory and our short-term memory. And yeah, that's my theory on it.
He looks pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah, because he's asleep. And he's got a belly full of milk.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of baby right here, sleeping baby. best newborn is sleeping. Man, he makes some crazy faces.
He does.
And just in a week, he's like now making all these nutsy faces. He's raising his eyebrows, and he's smiling a lot more. His little dimples are showing. But last night, I was going to say this for the Recovery Dads podcast, which I might just revisit it. But
yeah, might as well.
Man, he freaked me out because we were doing a diaper change, and he's not wanting to do a diaper change. And he went into this full-fledged, and he must have get it from you, like Marney tantrum, we'll call it. And he's just like, like just screaming, and he's got his little fist balled up. It's a face he's never made to me before, and you said he's done it to you a couple times.
Yeah, a couple
and
times.
Then he just starts just shaking, like temper tantrum is what it was.
Yeah.
Or Marney tantrum, whatever you want to call it. But he was just like squeezing his fist, shaking him. Yeah. And next thing I know, his little legs start shaking, and I'm like, dude, are you having a seizure? Like, what is going on here, man?
Where he like can't breathe.
Yeah, and he was like red and blue, like he's turning colors, and I was like looking at him like, bro. And I had to pick him up. I was like, you gotta breathe, bro. And then I was patting him on the back, and then he stopped crying, and then he turned his natural color again. And then I laid him back down, and he was cool for a couple minutes, and then he started fussing a little bit. Nothing like that. Like that was like. That was insane. Like, I really was like, is this a seizure he's having? Like, what is going on, man?
No, it's just aggressive. It's just aggressive crying.
I can't let him get away with that.
Oh, well, you don't have a choice.
Put him in his room.
He doesn't want to be
See how you like that?
Yet.
I'll change your diaper every 10 minutes, sucker. You get used to that.
He does. Sometimes he does super peaceful diaper changes, and it's just
ain't no sometimes thing. They're cool. But I don't know what it was. I think because I woke him up, or I don't even know. I undressed him first. Maybe he was liking that green onesie he was in.
Maybe. That could be.
So don't take me out of that. I don't care if I spit up on it. It's cool, man.
Yeah, we're not really dressing him up to leave the house. He's kind of stays in his just naked baby with the diaper on.
He likes it, though.
He does.
Because he has that Winfield part of him where he's always hot.
Mm-hmm. He does get hot, yeah.
So he's like, oh, I'm hot. So I think that he likes just chilling out. Mm-hmm. You know, he does look very comfortable right now. We should take a picture, and that'll be the cover photo of this podcast. But I know you've been wanting to do a podcast for a couple of days. I mean, it was like 2-3 days in a row. You're like, let's do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. And we would probably do it from the studio, but we just had some work done down there, and we need to put up the acoustic panels. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just echoey down at the office downstairs.
That you still need to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting on the little credit card to come because I think that would be nice to put that on there. And here's the thing. I just got approved for $18 million credit card. You might as well say that because if you'd have told me 5 years ago, you're going to get offers in the mail for credit cards, I would have said, you're stupid. I'm never getting a credit card again. Ugh, I don't want that. I don't need it. I don't care about my credit. I'm never going to buy a house. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And now to get like offers, and like we've been getting them for what, 6, 7, 8 months, and we just been throwing them away. And I was like, maybe I should try. So when you went up with Parker the other day to feed him and put him to bed or whatever, I was like, let me jump on here real quick. And then I was approved, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it's like no interest for a year and a half on things you buy. So I'm like, I'm like, why not? Take my time with it because we got a little one here, and you never know when you want to spend some money on him. So if I can put something like that, like a purchase like that, but again, this is part of recovery, and a lot of people think, oh, well, just I won't use or drink. No. That obviously that's part of it.
Oh yeah.
But when you still really start putting your life back together and start building a life, let me rephrase that. Start building, let me repeat that and rephrase it. Start creating a life. There we go.
Yeah.
For yourself, a life that you want, and you're going after things that you want. You have goals, and are you going to reach all of them and conquer all of them? I don't know, but with that attitude, probably not.
Right.
Really believe in yourself and invest in Team You. Because if you're just not drinking and not using, that's cool, man. That's a part of it. But it's such a bigger, being in recovery is such a bigger thing, and it's changing your life. It's relationships. I don't have to have 25 friends. I can be cool with 2.
Yeah.
I can be cool with 4. I don't need a posse around me. I don't need people telling me that I'm awesome or doing good. I just need people to be real, and people that I can hang out with and talk to. And now I got a little Parker, and it just keeps getting better. So, to say that you can't do it and this and that's too hard, and it just takes time. Do that whole day at a time method, and in a year you'll be surprised. That saying at the radio station years ago that was on the glass window between the studio and the newsroom, and it said just a little bit better today than yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And it adds up quick, but it's a blessing. It really is. And yeah, so the acoustic panels, I think I might wait on those, but yeah, my father still hasn't seen little Parker.
They're gonna be coming up here.
Maybe.
Hopefully fairly soon.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be bombarded all at once again. Like it seems like we went like parent, and then it was just like, oh, now there's a lull, and then it's gonna be like, his aunt and uncle, or not. Well, I mean, depending on when my brother comes, if my brother comes.
Oh, you have a brother?
I do.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I do.
Just kidding. He doesn't listen anyway, so who cares? But yeah.
No, he does not listen.
Yeah, my brother, he might come to his graduation. I don't know. Like my brother Jerry, I'm talking about, and he's not a big fan of coming to Michigan. Which he loves Traverse City, is what he told me before. So it's kind of weird that I've lived in Traverse City for 4 years.
Yeah, but he did come to Michigan. He just didn't come up here.
Yeah.
So,
we didn't really...
But I mean, I don't know. It's a possibility. He might have some influential people in California that'll push him to come here.
I don't know. Whatever. Like, you can't control what other people do. And then you have family members that are like, hey, I'm going to come see you. And you're like, all right, cool. And then the day they're supposed to come, then they just don't show up. And you're like, what's going on? And you're like messaging them like, you come in? Like, what's going on? And, and your wife's like, well, I'd like to figure out if so-and-so's coming because I'd like to eat dinner, but I want to wait and see what's going on. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Talking about my sister Kylie. Yeah.
Right. Well, and then, you have siblings that are like, I can't wait till he's born. I'm going to be there. I'm going to come and I'm going to visit you and it's going to be great. And then he's born and you're like, are you coming? And they're like, I don't think so. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Well, at least like a week later, you didn't see pictures online of them like off on a vacation island somewhere.
Right.
Because that would have been a kick in the nuts.
It would have been. Man, I'm so glad that did not happen.
Yeah. It's progress, not perfection.
That's true. Progress,
but you realize like he's our baby and whatever. Like my younger brother, Travis, him and his wife, they're like, we'll be up in July. Mm-hmm. It's another month. They weren't like trying to make fake promises. And he has 3 daughters too. Yeah. And their youngest just turned 1. Mm-hmm. And he's got all kinds of stuff going on. But, at least they're like, hey, we'll be up in July and we definitely want to see him. And the girls want to see him. And, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But
and you know who's really actually come out of the woodwork, which not in a bad way, just my sister, Alex, she's my half sister. So she was, my dad's child from another marriage, and I was 16 when she was born. So like I was like grown up and like doing we all were, all of us. And so it was kind of this.
You hear that, 16-year-olds? You're grown up.
Well, not grown up to the point where you're an adult, but when you have a sibling who is a newborn, it's a little bit, you feel more grown up. Like you take them to the store and people are like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And you're like, she's my sister. Thank you, though. Mm-hmm. That kind of mentality. But anyhow, point being is that she's an actual adult now. And she's like she's checked in. Like she'll check in just as much as like the grandparents do almost, just like making plans to come visit. And, she'll be here and she's like, any new pictures? And, it's kind of cool because I didn't really expect that. But, she's really been kind of present in terms of eager to meet him and excited about his birth. And I think that's amazing. So thank you, Alex, even though you don't listen to this
big
either.
Props. Big props. And she's probably getting ready to have some of her own because she just got married.
She said that they're not interested.
That's what she says.
I know. I asked that. And she said, I'll just be the cool...
I'm not really interested.
She said, I'll just be the cool aunt.
I'm not really interested in having children.
She didn't say those words.
Until she starts realizing, like, when we get older, who's going to take care of us?
Well...
Nobody.
No.
Okay, better have some kids.
No. I think people have different drive for why they want children. But, either sometimes... people feel obligated to have children. Sometimes people feel like it's a fix it for a relationship. Sometimes it's kind of like, sometimes it's an accident and they don't mean to. Sometimes, there's all kinds of different reasons. But, this little guy is, is the completion of like, for me at least, it was like, I felt like I already had a family, being married to you, and I would have been okay with just you and I for the rest of our lives, because if that was meant to be, then that was meant to be. And I would have been grateful for that and celebrated that, and it would have been wonderful that way. Mm-hmm. But both you and I, one of the connections that we had when we just met each other was that we both wanted kids, and we both were very realistic with the fact that we were not spring chickens. Mm-hmm. Then we know we had been through hell and back. And this could be an opportunity for us to start lives over, and not on the foundation of each other or with the idea of having a baby, but with that we were like recreating ourselves. So it's just come full circle to what you were talking about earlier is like creating our lives, and like whatever that looked like was going to be it. And it was okay not knowing. We had an idea of what would be nice, but like we didn't know for sure if it would work out. We didn't know if we were going to work out, and then we didn't know if the baby would work out. And, everything fell into place, but with work, you and I took work, and then the baby took work. It wasn't just on a silver platter, but we knew that it was meant to be and that it was healthy and that it was a positive experience and that that's what both of us wanted. So, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And it's such a great place. And look, what else do you want to talk? Did you want to interview him on the, where you're saying, buddy?
He was just stretching.
He's got nothing now.
No, he's like, that was it. I just needed to stretch.
But yeah, to look back at all we went through too, it's crazy. Like the fact that I even did all that. What would you say, buddy? Oh no, he's done again. Mm-hmm. He's just.
He says, I don't speak on demand.
Yeah, he doesn't. But we got to teach him how to talk very, very soon. But yeah, the stuff that we've been through, and I just can't believe some of the stuff that we did and that we had to do, and we just did it. We have a lot. It shows that we have a lot of faith in God too.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because if we didn't, we clearly wouldn't be where we're at now. But I'm talking about spiritually, emotionally, stuff like that. Because it took its toll, and we could have given up easy. And I said to you a lot of times, we just got to have faith and seeing other people and, trying to compare us to them, and people won't even know, just at a grocery store or something, and be like, how come that person can have a baby?
Oh, it's really easy to go off on that tangent.
But to just kind of reel it in and just worry about what we have to do and what we're doing, it's easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, and even Tyrone would always be like, well, you can always adopt a child. Okay, Tyrone, thanks for the advice, buddy. And that's not what we're trying to do.
And my siblings said the same thing. And my mom at one point, was like, no, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to actually birth a child to be a parent. And that's very true. And I think it's wonderful that adoption is a thing. Yeah. I'm not frowning upon it. It's just for me, my explanation and response to them was like, we really want to have the experience of like having a child.
Yeah. It wasn't about I don't think I would have wanted to adopt.
Right.
There are people out there that do, like you said, it's a good thing. But that's not what we were trying to do. We weren't just like wanting a child to have a child. We wanted to do the whole process and experience. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a little different. But yeah, it would have been easy for us to be detoured, but we weren't, and big props to God for keeping us on track for that. But yeah, we had to have a lot of faith and something that.
Yeah, and I thought about that a lot when I pray, and this air quotes pray, because I have this thing where it's like I have more like conversations with God, and I remember like just when things were kind of on the fence of if this was going to happen or not, it was like, okay, I know when I wanted to get clean and sober, I knew I needed to stop praying to God to be sober. Like I can't ask for an end result. Right. You need to ask for the steps that get you there. Mm-hmm. And it was like, please take this, mentality, take this urge away, take this obsession from me. And it's praying for the things that get you there. And things that make you productive. So it's kind of like finding not a roundabout way, but it's like you don't want to take the learning process out of it, which is what God wants you to do. God wants you to do the work. And also for me too, is recognizing like, what is it that I want out of being a parent or being, it was like, please let me give me the gift of a child so I can continue to do God's work and I can take this role and give the love that I've found for life to a new human that's going to be on this earth because of myself and my husband, and like all these positive things that would come out of having a child. Those are the things that I was praying for. So ultimately, yeah, but instead of being the nitty gritty, like, please God, let me have a baby, it was more like, these are the reasons why. I'm like, let me make my case to you, Jesus, of why I think that this is something that I need your help on. And, and here we are. And it's a miracle. So
It truly is. We're blessed, and we say it all the time. Especially this little guy. He's such a blessing and such a little miracle baby. And it's just one of those things, man. Like, put it in the book. Mm-hmm. Like, put it in the book.
Is the book the last thing on your list of things that you said you were going to have done?
Yeah, because I'm going to make a movie first, and then... But the movie's not going to be about the book, but then I'll make a book, and then I'm going to make a movie about the book, because I've already made a movie and know how to do it. Maybe I was thinking, because I was watching this the other day about short films, and I'm like, maybe I just make a short film, but I don't know. We'll see. But our little Parker buddy is moving around and waking up, and we do have a list of things to do today.
We do.
Oh, wait, what'd you say, buddy?
He says, I'm waking up.
What? You say it again? What? Say it into the microphone. Say it into the microphone. Oh, he's doing sit-ups.
Yeah.
I think that's his pooping sounds right there.
He's doing some grunting and some
Yeah, his legs just moving like, oh, gotta move that over there, get that butt cheek over. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got little elbows, like his hands are behind his like little ears on the pillow, and he's just comfy as hell, looking, sleeping away.
I'm telling you.
Should I get Nico snoring too on the podcast?
Yeah, you could. This is noises of the Winfield house.
I don't know if people could hear that. I couldn't get too close because I think I would have woke her.
That's funny.
Anyway, thanks for listening, though.
Yeah,
for the podcast today. And
thanks for letting me fill you in on what's going on in our world.
Yeah, and we'll have another podcast coming up soon. And then, like I said, Recovery Dads podcast will be on Tuesday. So look for that, recoverydads.com. And there's a Facebook page for it as well, too. So go ahead and scroll over there and like us and follow us and do all that. And we'll talk to you later.
Everybody enjoy your Sunday.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.